Imagine a man in a faded janitor's uniform pushing a mop down a high school hallway, his dreams buried under years of silence. Now picture him stepping into a classroom, facing a wall of mocking eyes, and solving a math problem so complex it silences an arrogant professor. This isn't a movie. This is the story of Marcus Tate, a black custodian in Portland, Oregon, whose hidden genius shattered a school's prejudice and set the internet on fire. Stay with us. This tale of resilience will leave you speechless. On a gray November morning in 2024, the fluorescent lights of Lincoln High in Portland, Oregon, flickered like a dying pulse. The air was thick with the scent of wet sneakers and teenage restlessness. Room 312's chalkboard was a battlefield, smeared with half-erased differential equations. Marcus Tate, 42, maneuvered his cleaning cart through the halls, his navy coveralls worn but crisp, a quiet badge of his 7-year grind. To students, he was invisible. To teachers, a fixture like the lockers he polished. But Marcus was a volcano, dormant, waiting. What unfolded that day didn't just stun Lincoln High, it rewrote the rules of respect. Second period, Dr. Nathan Caldwell, a wiry calculus professor on loan from a local university, stalked his AP Calculus BC class. His reputation was a blade, brilliant but brutal, with a smirk that could gut a student's confidence. The room hummed with tension, pencils tapping like a countdown. Caldwell scrawled a monster of an equation on the board. dy by dx equals x squared y plus sin xy squared. "Solve it!" he snapped, voice dripping with disdain, "or I'll pick someone to crash and burn." The 22 seniors froze, brains whirred, but hands stayed glued to desks. Caldwell's eyes, sharp as a hawk's, snagged on Marcus outside, mopping the hall, his movement steady, almost meditative. A cruel grin split Caldwell's face. "Hey, janitor!" he bellowed, loud enough to echo past the lockers. "Think you can mop up this equation?" The class erupted in snickers. Ethan Hayes, a lacrosse star with a permanent smirk, muttered, "Yeah, right." Sophia Nguyen, a debate team captain, whispered, "Is he serious?" Marcus paused, mop handle tight in his grip, his face a mask, but his heart pounding. He'd eaten slights like this for years, dismissed, overlooked, reduced to a uniform. But this was a public lynching. He stepped into the doorway, eyes locking onto Caldwell's. "What's the equation?" he asked, voice low, steady, like a river before a storm. Caldwell blinked, thrown, but recovered with a sneer. "Oh, you're playing hero?" He jabbed the board. "Go on, custodian, show us your genius." The room went silent, air crackling. Students leaned forward, some giggling, others sensing something seismic. Marcus set his mop against the wall, boots thudding as he crossed to the board. Every stare was a dagger. Caldwell's smirk, Ethan's chuckle, Sophia's skeptical tilt of the head. He picked up the chalk, studied the equation, and began. His hand moved like a conductor's, carving variables, untangling integrals with surgical precision. The board filled with elegant steps, each line a quiet rebellion. 4 minutes later, he stepped back, chalk dust on his fingers. "Done," he said, voice calm but final. The solution gleamed. Y equals the natural logarithm of the absolute value of x plus the cosine of xy squared divided by x plus c. Caldwell's smirk vanished. He scanned the work, hunting for a mistake, his glasses fogging with panic. "It's correct," he stammered, barely audible. The class exploded, gasps, shouts, desks rattling. Ethan's jaw dropped. Sophia blinked, stunned. Javier Morales, a quiet sophomore, whispered, He just smoked that. Marcus didn't bask. He nodded at Caldwell, grabbed his mop, and walked out, leaving a room in chaos. But Caldwell's pride was hemorrhaging, and he wasn't about to let a custodian steal his throne. By lunch, the story was a wildfire. Kids in the cafeteria mimicked Caldwell's stunned face, reenacting Marcus's triumph. Javier's Instagram Reels clip, captioned "Custodian 1, Prof 0, racked up 5,000 views in an hour. Marcus, hauling trash bags, felt the stares but kept moving. Fame wasn't his goal. He was thinking of his daughter, Lena, 14, who'd be waiting at home for algebra help. Math was their refuge, a fortress against a world that often spat on their dreams. Caldwell, though, was scheming. In the faculty lounge, he leaned into colleagues, voice venomous. "He got lucky. Probably Googled it on his break," he hissed, loud enough for Ms. Deborah Klein, the history teacher, to overhear. She frowned. "Nathan, he solved it in front of you. That's not luck." Caldwell scoffed. "He's a janitor, Deb. You think he's deriving integrals in the boiler room?" His words spread, sowing doubt like poisoned seeds. That afternoon, Marcus was restocking supplies in the storage closet when he overheard two teachers outside. "Caldwell says the custodian's chasing clout," one said. "Needs to stick to his job." Marcus's jaw clenched, but he kept stacking. He'd grown up in Portland's toughest corners, teaching himself math from library discards after teachers wrote him off as unfocused. He'd earned a partial scholarship to Oregon State, majoring in applied mathematics, but dropped out when Lena's mom got sick. Medical bills crushed his dreams, so he traded equations for a paycheck. Math stayed his sanctuary, problems scribbled on scrap paper, textbooks studied by flashlight. It was his proof he was more than a uniform. Wednesday, the story grew claws. Zoe Carter, a senior, posted a TikTok reenacting Marcus's moment, mop in hand, captioned, "$, Math King." It hit 20,000 views by noon. Students slipped calculus problems into his cart, half prank, half awe. But Caldwell was out for blood. In class, he slapped up a nightmare equation. X3E, got Y, dx. "Let's see if our viral star can handle this," he taunted, voice carrying as Marcus swept nearby. The class hushed. Javier whispered to Zoe, "This is dirty." Marcus stopped, broom still, feeling the trap. "Prove you're not a fraud or be crushed." He set his broom down and walked in, the room electric. Caldwell leaned against his desk, grinning like a wolf. "Go on, Math King," he mocked, sparking laughs from Ethan and Sophia. Marcus ignored the noise, eyes on the board. This wasn't just math, it was survival. He wrote, paused, wrote again, hands steady despite Caldwell's sneer, the class's stares, and the weight of years spent unseen. 8 minutes later, he stepped back. A flawless solution shown, x squared e to the power of xy, all divided by y plus c. "Check it," he said, voice a quiet blade. Caldwell's grin dissolved. He scanned the work, lips tight. "It's right," he muttered, voice cracking. The class detonated, cheers, desks pounded, Zoe shouting, "He's a legend!" Marcus walked out, heart thumping, not from triumph, but from the exhaustion of being a target. That night, Zoe's TikTok went nuclear. 150,000 views, then 400,000. Comments flooded. "This man's a genius." "Why's he cleaning?" "Professor got wrecked." Twitter erupted with hashtag #MathKing trending, memes of Marcus wielding a mop like a wizard staff. But Caldwell was spiraling. Thursday, he stormed Principal Andrea Larson's office, face red. "Tate's turning my class into a circus," he spat. "He's a custodian, not a scholar." Larson, a no-nonsense leader who'd steered Lincoln through a decade of storms, leaned back. "Nathan, you humiliated him in front of students twice. Sounds like you're mad he outshone you." Caldwell's voice climbed. "He's undermining my authority. Discipline him." Larson's eyes narrowed. "You don't get to shame someone then cry when they rise. I'm handling this." She dismissed him, but the air was heavy with reckoning. Larson called Marcus, and that afternoon he sat, coveralls faded, hands folded. "Marcus, how do you know calculus like that?" she asked, voice calm but searching. He shrugged, guarded. "Went to Oregon State math major 2 years, left when my wife got sick. I keep up books, Khan Academy, whatever I can afford." Larson blinked. "You never mentioned college." "Didn't think it mattered. I'm here to clean." She leaned forward. "It matters now. Nathan's pushing for punishment, says you're disrupting his class." Marcus's jaw tightened. "He called me out, ma'am. I just solved the problems." Larson nodded. "I know, but this is everywhere. Students, parents, news. We need to navigate it carefully." Friday, the story was a beast. Coin 6 News ran Custodian's Math Genius Shocks Portland School, showing Marcus pushing his cart, Zoe's TikTok looping. Parents flooded Larson's inbox, some praising Marcus, others echoing Caldwell's gripes about rolls. Caldwell stoked the fire, muttering to colleagues that Marcus was milking the spotlight. In the halls, he cornered Marcus, voice low and toxic. "Think you're a celebrity now, janitor? Stick to your mop." Marcus met his gaze, unyielding. "I did. You handed me the chalk." Caldwell stormed off, but the school was fracturing. Students idolized Marcus, but some staff rallied behind Caldwell, whispering about professional boundaries. Monday, a faculty meeting crackled with tension. Caldwell sat, arms crossed, as Ms. Rachel Gupta, math department chair, watched closely. Larson stood firm. Marcus Tate solved 2 graduate-level equations after being publicly shamed. "Nathan, you started this fire. Now it's ablaze, and we're dealing with it." Caldwell snapped. "He's not faculty. He's mocking my classroom." Larson cut him off. "You mocked him first. The issue is your behavior, not his." Gupta spoke up. "I reviewed his work. It's impeccable. I want to know his story." Larson turned to Marcus, who stood, feeling the room's weight. "I studied math at Oregon State, left for my family. I studied nights, textbooks, YouTube, whatever. I didn't ask for this fight." Gupta nodded, impressed. Caldwell seethed, silent. That night, CNN ran Custodian's Genius Rocks Oregon School. Twitter exploded. #MathKing hitting global trends. Memes of Marcus as a superhero with a mop went viral. At home, Lena was buzzing, showing Marcus the posts. "Dad, you're a legend." Marcus shook his head. "I don't want legend. I want respect." Lena hugged him. "You've got mine, always." But the pressure was crushing. Tuesday, Caldwell escalated, filing a district complaint accusing Marcus of disrupting instruction and inciting chaos. The district sent Dr. Karen Ortiz, a sharp investigator, to Lincoln. She interviewed everyone: Caldwell, Larson, Gupta, Javier, Zoe. Javier was blunt. Caldwell tried to crush Mr. Tate, and it backfired. Zoe added, "He's mad 'cause Mr. Tate's smarter." Ortiz met Marcus last in a stark office. "Your side," she said, pen poised. Marcus was raw. "Caldwell mocked me in front of kids. I solved his equations. I'm here to work, not teach." Ortiz nodded. "Your college record checks out. Why math?" Marcus's voice softened. "It's my freedom. Numbers don't judge you, race, job, nothing. They're fair. I do it for me, for Lena." Ortiz scribbled, visibly moved. Wednesday, Ortiz delivered her report. Mr. Tate acted with integrity. Dr. Caldwell's complaint is retaliatory, rooted in bias. Recommend Caldwell's suspension and a public apology. Larson acted swiftly. Thursday, Caldwell was summoned, handed a 3-week suspension and mandatory diversity training. In a tense faculty meeting, he muttered an apology to Marcus. "I shouldn't have targeted you." Marcus nodded, stone-faced. "Heard." The aftermath was seismic. Gupta begged Marcus to lead a weekly math clinic for struggling students. He hesitated. Cleaning was his livelihood, not teaching, but Lena pushed. "Dad, you're changing lives. Do it." Marcus started the clinic, and it was electric. Javier mastered derivatives. Ethan, humbled, showed up and listened. Marcus kept his custodian job, balancing both worlds with quiet strength. By May 2025, Lincoln High was transformed. Math King faded. Marcus was Mr. Tate, a mentor, a beacon. Teachers greeted him with respect. Students called him family. Caldwell returned, his arrogance dimmed, his lesson etched in stone. The district launched Unseen Talent, a program to identify overlooked potential, inspired by Marcus. Cohen Six's final piece, Custodian Turned Mentor Redefined School's Heart, went viral, amassing 2 million views. At the spring assembly, Javier and Zoe presented Marcus with a plaque, "To Marcus Tate, who proved knowledge breaks all barriers." The auditorium roared. Marcus stood, voice steady but heavy. "This is for everyone told they're nothing. Your mind is your weapon. Wield it. Don't let anyone dim your light." The cheers shook the rafters. Caldwell in the back clapped once, his ego in ruins. Marcus kept cleaning, teaching, studying. Respect was his victory, forged in fire. For every soul dismissed, erased, or spit on, his story screams, "You are more than their hate. Rise. Prove it. Let them choke." If this moved you, hit share, drop a comment, subscribe. Let's amplify the stories of those who burn bright against the odds.